labour arrangements.
Senator Puckett, we will need to rotate the call. Is this a good time to break?
Sure, I'll come back.
Fantastic. Senator Patterson.
Thank you, Chair. Just following up on Senator Pocock's line of questioning, Minister, you've expressed a bit of frustration that this issue's been mischaracterised in the media.
I'm not frustrated by it. I actually don't think, I'm being honest. The way it was portrayed, it's not, does not reflect accurately the decision or the exercise the government is going through.
I have a helpful suggestion to solve this problem for you. You could release the correspondence publicly as ordered by the Senate, and that would clear it up.
I know, but and I'm, I knew that might be a point you raised.
Well, you've got great powers of anticipation, Minister.
Look, and partly it's a budget in confidence. All matters relating to, say, my EFO and budget are budget in confidence, and so there are reasons why that we wouldn't do that. But I'm happy to answer questions you might have. I can say that the word cut was, we haven't used that in the decision we've taken or the request to agencies.
I know. Cuts is something your political opponents do. Reprioritisation is something you do.
Well, reprioritisation isn't a cut. We weren't removing expenditure or ASL from departments, which is the contest we had in the election campaign. I thought this is something that you would support. I have read plenty of your transcripts, Senator Patterson, talking about fiscal discipline, etc., etc. This is right in the middle of what
useful.
You've been saying.
Well, I don't know whether my honest answer is I don't know whether I support it or not, because I'm not clear what you are talking about still. I don't think any senator is particularly clear.
I don't know.
Oh, that's good.
I don't know what more I can do.
Better talking points than
I don't know what more I can do to assist you with that.
You could table the correspondence.
Well, I'm not going to do that because it is, and I don't remember Matthias sitting here ever tabling correspondence relating to budget decisions either, or cabinet decisions, frankly. And he always had, he was always very clear on that, and we accepted that, and we didn't do OPDs calling for a whole range of things that were clearly documents that were being used in the formulation of a budget. Now, the Senate has changed. I accept that, but ask me. Ask me any question and I will answer as much as I can.
Thank you. Let's just get to the bottom of the document first, because I think that's important. Senator Chisholm disclosed in the Senate on behalf of the government during the business of the Senate that after my office submitted an OPD on this issue, that your office contacted my office to tell us that these documents did not exist. Is that right?
I would have to check that, sorry. Last week I was in the chamber.
That's what Senator Chisholm said in the chamber. He said, your office contacted my office to tell us that these documents did not exist. But we now have a letter from you saying that you can't release these documents. So which is it? Do they not exist or can you not release them?
I would have to check both of those things. I think the original thing was a letter, and that might be the confusion.
Well, in what form is this document, if not a letter?
Well, as you would imagine, during the course of a budget process, there is a range of communication that comes from finance out to agencies, reflecting minutes, decisions, minutes of the meeting and/or decisions that have been taken, and that is, as it has been forever and as it will continue to be.
Is it a sticky note?
I've told you, there is a range of information that flows from finance to agencies through the course of a budget process.
Sure, but when we submit an OPD and your office says that document doesn't exist or that letter doesn't exist, if the reason why they're saying it doesn't exist is because actually it's a minute and not a letter, I think that's pretty tricky use of language to try and avoid transparency and scrutiny at the Senate.
We're not trying to avoid transparency. We've answered, I think the original OPD sought a letter, is my understanding.
Yep.
There is no letter.
Right. What is it then?
Right.
If it's not a letter, what is it?
Well, I've just said to you. Is it a memo?
Is it an email?
There's a range of things that... There's a range of information that moves from finance to agencies that reflects decisions that the government has taken.
Sure, but there's no need to be so tricky with language about this. I can't compel
Well,
you to
not
provide anything, but I just want to know for future purposes, if I'm putting an OPD, what do I ask for? Do I ask for a minute? Do I ask for an email? Do I ask for a memo? What form does this
Well, I'm not going to tell you how to
communications
write
take?
your OPDs.
Why not?
Patterson.
Hey,
Well, because I'm not the author of them.
So,
You write your OPDs, you seek... Look, and we can get into an argument about OPDs. OPDs used to be about particular documents. That's what they used to be. So there is no document. There is no document to the letter that you sought. There is none.
Well, hang on.
Now, other
There is no document or
OPDs
is no
seek
letter?
a whole
Let them
range of
answer.
things. They think briefing notes, like the way OPDs have been written now encompasses at times a whole range of different information. But I am not going to tell you how to write your OPD. And the information that I think you're seeking would be budget in confidence. But ask me about the 5%. I don't know what you don't understand about the explanations I have given publicly on a number of times about it, because I will be as helpful as I can to bring you up to speed on it.
Minister, you can't on the one hand complain about senators doing fishing expeditions using broad language to try and capture documents, and on the other hand refuse to say what form this communication took place. If you want us to ask for specific documents through OPDs, which is my understanding of your position, then let us know what we should be asking for.
No, that's not how it works. Like you asked...
It's the most transparent government ever.
No, you asked for a letter. I said that didn't exist.
Yep.
A document.
So, and
Okay.
then you complain about senators asking for a broader range of documents. Do you see the inconsistency?
No.
We can put in very precise OPDs, but if you're going to be deliberately obtuse about what form these documents take, what form these communications take, then senators have to ask for a broad range of documents. Like you are forcing us our hand there.
I'm not telling you how to write your OPDs.
Okay.
What I am
Well, how about you just tell me
are you interested in the actual issue,
Yes,
Senator
I am.
Patterson?
And yes, I'm very
Right.
interested, but I think this is a really important issue to resolve. How about you just tell me, in the lead up to preparing a budget, when a directive is sent to departments to identify potential savings, in what form is it sent?
Senator Ruston's done some time in cabinet. You could ask her.
I'm not sure that I'm the government.
I w-
I'm not sure that's actually appropriate from the chair, by the way.
Well, I mean, I don't know, to be honest, how it was sent, but
Well,
how
you told me it's not
information
a
was
letter, so you obviously know it's not a letter.
was relayed. I would imagine. I don't know if the secretary can help there, but I would think
Please.
it was via email. I would imagine that if you were trying to get a message out to the whole of the public service about a decision that is being taken, I would imagine that is probably the method you would use.
Okay. Secretary, is that right? Is it an email?
There was an email and there was correspondence from Prime Minister to ministers.
Right, so-
Correspondence isn't a letter.
Yeah. What form did the correspondence take?
Well,
Was it attached to the email?
I'm unsure.
Right. Was it a PDF?
If I talk generally about how budget prioritisation processes work,
Well, let's do that in a minute, but you just gave me some specific information there that I want to clarify. There was an email from the Prime Minister, or there was an email which contained an attachment from the Prime Minister?
there was correspondence
Correspondence. Right.
from I believe the acting Prime Minister at the time
Yep, okay.
to ministers asking for these 5% options to be generated
Right.
for the budget 26-27 process.
Okay, what did the correspondence look like? In what form was the correspondence that was attached to the email? The officials seemed familiar. They were nodding before. They must be within their state of knowledge. Mr. Sabello or...
Paul Fitzner, First Assistant Secretary of Budget Group. The Secretary referred to correspondence being sent from the Acting Prime Minister that was in the form of a letter. I think when the Minister was speaking before in the context of the initial form of the OPD and a document not existing, I think that was in reference to a letter sent from Finance. There was no letter sent from Finance.
So, Minister, what is it? Is there a letter or is there not a letter?
There was not a letter from Finance as set out in your OPD.
That's not what you said like 2 minutes ago.
Yes, well, it related to your OPD. It was, exactly.
So no wonder senators have to go on fishing expeditions when we're told in estimates under oath that there's no letter, only to learn by pursuing it a little bit longer. In fact, there is a letter. It just came from the PM or the acting
Your
PM.
OPD saw a letter from the Department of Finance. There was no letter. That is my answer then, and it is my answer now.
In fact, there was a letter.
Your OPD sought a letter from the Department of Finance.
Excuse me, who are you?
When I just asked you that question before, Minister.
Excuse me, that was exceptionally rude, Senator Ruston.
Many people would say
Chair,
so. No, you, Senator.
Chair, I think your interventions
Now,
are making
let's
this more difficult
just-
rather than less difficult. How about we just...
And that's not very helpful either, Senator Patterson. There was some rude comments going on. It's
Sought
not
a
necessary.
document that didn't exist.
I'm not sure I started it.
So, but Minister, when I was asking this about this before, I did not specify the Finance Department. I just asked if there was a letter. I asked how this is being communicated. We can go back and review the Hansard if you like.
By all means.
But I was very clear. I just asked if there was a letter. I didn't specify that it came from you or the Department of Finance.
My answering was based on what you were seeking through your OPD.
Well, that's not what you said in your answer.
Well, I think it was.
Okay. So there was a letter and it came from the Acting Prime Minister. Why is it the Acting Prime Minister writing to departments and agencies to seek these savings?
Why?
Yes, why? Wouldn't it be the Finance Minister who would ordinarily ask agencies and departments for savings?
Well, the PM sets out budget priorities routinely. So, no, I don't see anything unusual about that.
Right. So the Acting PM is written in a letter to every government department and agency to identify these 5% savings.
It wasn't to departments, it was to ministers.
Right, okay. Thank you for clarifying. So the Acting Prime Minister has written to all ministers to identify 5% savings.
No.
Well, correct me.
To ask, well, I don't know how many times I have to say this. They have asked to identify their lowest priority 5% and to provide that information through the budget process.
Okay. So why couldn't this just been disclosed? Why did it take 15 minutes to draw this out? What's the secrecy?
There is no secrecy. I've been answering questions on this for some time.
I don't think any independent observer watching this would think that you're being transparent. Like, this is
Well,
straightforward.
it's a budget process. I have been as helpful as I can be while we were in the
If
middle
this is
of
helpful, I would hate to see unhelpful, Minister.
Oh, come on. I know you can...
Seriously,
yes,
why does it
okay.
take 15 minutes to... It's like drawing blood out of a stone to learn
I've been
that the
answering
Acting
your
Prime
question.
Minister wrote a letter to ministers.
I've been answering your questions, Senator Patterson. Like, I'm not going to ask them for you.
No, clearly not. The CPSU National Secretary, Melissa Donnelly, told the Canberra Times, and I quote, "The government should come clean on their plans and immediately release the letters they sent to agency heads about potential cuts. As an employer, they need to be upfront with their staff about what they are proposing and the impact it may have on jobs, workloads and delivery of services to support millions of Australians." Don't you agree that that's a reasonable request from the CPSU?
Well, I've already answered that. It's their budget in confidence documents. We can't, we're going through a process now. Like, no, they are not released.
Will these correspondence, will these letters ever be released after the budget?
I would have to take some advice on that.
Is there a reason why they couldn't be?
I don't think it's been practiced to release those documents, even, that I can recall, or under your government when you were in power.
Okay. What was the date of the correspondence?
I'd have to take that on notice. I don't know if people...
Does anyone at the
do you have
table
it?
familiar? Well, obviously, while there was an acting Prime Minister, I assume it was Mr Miles?
I'd have to check, but
Yep.
yes.
So
it would
presumably the
yeah.
Prime Minister was on leave. Was it when the Prime Minister was attending an international summit, or...?
I think we'll get the date for you, Senator Patterson.
Well, I'm just trying to see if officials have any knowledge here today.
They've said no, and we will try and find the date for you.
I didn't hear them say no, but...
I said, do you have the date? And there was a shake of the head,
I'm
so
not
you
sure
may not
that
have
will be
heard them.
captured
But I
by
thought you were
Hansard.
watching, that's all.
No, I was looking at my next question. I'm not sure Hansard captures shaking of the head. So you can't say when it was sent. Are ministers required to reply, and how are they required to reply?
Yes, they were asked to reply.
By when?
From memory, it was the end of October.
In October. And have
Yeah.
they come back with suggestions of the lowest 5% priorities?
Well, ministers routinely, they do reply to a letter from the Prime Minister.
Yes, that's probably a good career move, but I'd like to know whether they've provided savings in
Well, it hasn't
process.
been an exercise in savings, no matter how many times you say it, Senator Patterson.
I don't mean that in a gotcha way,
Well,
Minister.
no,
I'm just,
they've
it's just
been
for
asked
the
to
ease of language.
identify the lowest priority 5%. That's what they've been
Okay.
asked to do, and
Well,
that's how they're
just
applying.
trying to be economical with language. If you want me to say lowest priority 5% spending every time I ask a question, I can do that. Have they provided examples of their lowest priority 5% spending?
Ministers are engaging, as you would expect them to, through the budget process. Yep.
Good. And can you guarantee there'll be no job losses as part of that?
Through that exercise, that's not what it's about. So
That's
no, And-
so you can't guarantee that.
no, that is not what it's about, and that's
Sure.
what I have said publicly.
But if
it's
that's
not
not
about
what
an exercise in reducing staffing across the department. So,
if that's-
as a result of this, there would not be.
Okay, but you maybe I need to reframe the question, because I said, can you guarantee there'll be no job cuts? And you said no. Do you mean, yes, you can guarantee there'll be no job cuts?
As a part of this exercise, that's right.
Yes. So there'll be no reduction in the public service in that next budget.
As I said, there will be some ons and off where there's terminating programs. Like I haven't seen, we're still finalising the mid-year economic and fiscal update. I don't know that we report ASL as part of that, though. I don't.
We do not.
Yeah, I don't think so. But you know, there are movements around across the public service. So I just want to be very careful that it's not as a result of, you know, we are not looking to reduce the size of the public service.
Sure. Okay.
And when you get to a convenient point, Senator Patterson, we
Yes,
will
Chair,
rotate
that would be
again.
convenient. You can rotate the call. Thank you.
Oh, okay, thank you. Senator Pocock.